Andrew, what do you think of Bonnie Blue sleeping with 1,057 men?
How honest should I be out of 10?
I want you to be honest.
You want to be honest?
Yeah, go on.
I don't understand why men sit here and try and lecture you about it. I don't understand why men sit here and say you shouldn't do it. It's your body, your choice, right? This is the world.
You see, this guy is actually very smart. And Bonnie Blue, I mean, she's like a whore, actually. But she's like gaining a lot of popularity because of simps actually subscribing to the OnlyFans. And this bald motherfucker is making a lot of money selling courses you can get for free on YouTube, making a fucking university out of nothing, out of thin air. And they're on a show. And it's like really a sad display that you see these two motherfuckers with this guy slept with God knows how many bitches, and that bitch who slept with God knows how many men are the people who actually are talking, and they're our influencers. And this shows the fact that the society is going really downhill. This video is for educational purposes, and I believe it's a really good idea to brighten the vision and have the concept of what's going on. Because what they say is actually, this is the highlights, this is not the complete one. This is just the highlights that they say, and it's a good debate.
We now live in. This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism. In the world I believe in the conservative, traditionally masculinely ruled world, a man would be in charge of his daughters until they're handed over to their husbands or boyfriends, and there would be a degree of masculinity.
See, that word no longer exists. This guy is talking about utopia that no longer fucking exists. Like, hand over, what the fuck? You talking about traditions that existed hundreds of years ago? Now you watch like pornography on your fingertips, and bitches do whatever the fuck they want to do and call it feminism. I mean, there's a lot of wrong shit about that, to be honest. But what he says is complete bullshit.
The guidance, but feminism didn't want that. You know, women complain that men don't want to get married. We did actually want to get married when we got obedient virgins, but they just...
Why does he wear sunglasses indoors? Because there's no sun right there. And he's showing off his, like, chains and stuff, and his veins on the neck pop out. It's interesting.
Disappeared, and they complained about the patriarchy, and they were tired of us giving them a house to live in and kids
I think
to
she
raise,
likes
and they
him,
wanted to
though,
make their own
though.
choices. So she's making her own choice. That's a fantastic thing. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it, and you're honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
But she's her own person.
I never said my daughter's her own person. I said women want to be their own people. But my point is, there's so many women who go to Magaluf.
See, actually, I believe this guy in the middle has the highest IQ, and he runs the show. This woman has the lowest IQ in these three people, because what she's done is morally and ethically wrong, and in the society, she even lost the OnlyFans. So you see how stupid she is. This guy, Andrew Tate, is very interesting because he understands deep concepts. But that's kind of radical because, you know, whatever he says is misogynistic, and at the same time, he used to be a boxer. Like, he got hit a lot in the head, so his brain has like shifted or some shit. Like, it sometimes seems kind of stupid or crazy, but this middle guy is an interesting guy, and his questions are really wise.
For a weekend and do something very similar, and then they come back to England and get with some guy and start asking for presents from him and talking about how they deserve a traditional relationship and they want to get married and they want a Christmas present and all this bull. Most women do exactly what Bonnie does. I don't see you any different than most women. And I'm not saying that in a degrading way.
Most women don't sleep with 1,057 men in a day.
1,000? Does it fucking matter?
I think it does.
I don't really think it does. It's all
Isn't it?
disgusting to me. If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, I'd say, well, I find you repulsive. I don't want to sleep with you.
What, so
Goodbye.
you're only going after virgins?
Well, it's not about only going after virgins, but I think if you're a straight man, the idea of having a bunch of men.
You see, I think they're all saying just bullshit, and I don't know if this guy has fucked Bonnie Blue, but Bonnie Blue seems like just an open kind of prostitute, and she would fuck anyone and anything that moves. So the concept that they touch is like really interesting, but at the same time they're talking about personal kind of thing, like your daughter. You cannot even imagine your daughter being that. You probably would kill your own daughter if she takes that pass. This bald guy. Just look at that shit.
A woman that you're with, it's pretty repulsive.
Everyone has a past.
Look, Steve, this is the kind of white people say. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable. In fact, let's analyze that. Everyone has a past. You're right. Everyone does have a past. It's true. But isn't the primary objective of a man to find a woman with as little past as possible?
That's true.
Would you argue that's one of the precursors to finding a wife? Considering that wives were supposed to be virgins, this was the deal. The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing. Because the deal was...
You're not, like, contradicting yourself.
In what way?
Well, you're proud of her sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, I'm saying...
You see, the guy in the middle is very smart. This bald guy says bullshit. He's a pathological liar and a bullshitter. He says, yeah, I think you should be a virgin, but at the same time, I respect Bonnie Blue. So you see, he pinpointed out that what you say doesn't add up. You cannot get it both ways. You either say it's good or you say it's bad. You cannot say, no, it's good, but that's like... You see, what he says, he tries to justify it in the...
That the social contract, the construct of society that made family function, was women were obedient virgins and they found a man who provided for them and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy, we're tired of being provided for, we're tired of being taken care of, we don't want to listen to anybody, we want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism.
Actually, women did not do that. You see, men did it. Men allowed the women to have this choice, and men allowed some people to do it against some other men. They will include this thing also because it's a very interesting topic.
It's a traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions. So I'm glad that Bonnie's making her own decision.
Yeah,
I'm not here to tell you what to do.
I take women back 100 years. I'm like, no, I'm the clear example of how to be empowered. I use my body, I do what I want, when I want. And this is the thing you've been banging on about for years. And when I get hate, like when I click on the comments of these women that are like, oh, you're taking us back 100 years, then in their bio it says stay-at-home mom of two. I'm thinking, what was you rooting for? Because you have just stayed at home.
Bonnie, see, this is the future.
Yeah.
This is the future. This is fantastic. It's exactly what Western society is headed to. So why are we going to sit here and pretend this is not? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that most women who go on girls' holidays aren't doing something similar to what Bonnie does, just because it's not on camera? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that these men who walk around with their wives in the pub in England, and they're like, oh, my wife, yeah, everyone has...
You see, what it says is a little bit true. What Bonnie Blue, whoever that woman is, what she does on OnlyFans is unethical. But it's the same thing that a lot of other women do. They expect you to buy them gifts. They expect you to take them to good restaurants. They expect you to like take them for holidays. So these expectations are hidden and indirect. But what she does is that she's like a prostitute. She has a fair kind of price up in front. She doesn't come with hidden kind of expenses.
The past, oh no, she's done the same shit. What's the difference? Who gives a right? We're either going to care and accept that women are judged on their past and judged on their innocence and judged on their naivety and judged on these things like it used to be, or we're going to sit and say it doesn't matter, everyone has a past. Well, if everyone has a past, everyone has a past. Who gives a does it really matter?
So
anymore?
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking an impossible question?
Well, it's not an impossible question.
Of course it is.
How?
It can't happen.
But anything can happen.
It's against the laws of physics.
It's not.
You see, he cannot even imagine such thing because it's very hard and personal for him to even imagine such stuff.
Girlfriend. So your job is being a girlfriend. And why does he give you money? Because you give him sex. So most women are sex workers anyway, to be honest.
But isn't that what you said, the family unit?
I appreciate the honesty that he has, but he's really hated because he gives you the honest thing up front.
It was.
Well, then you're a sex worker with one customer. You know, which is nice. I guess it's better. It's more efficient.
But what about if you're raising children? That's not sex work, is it?
No, that's being a mother.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting, Rob. Rob said this, not me. So they're either virgin, sex workers, or mothers. Are those the three categories?
I think you're putting words into my mouth.
I think that's what Rob just said. Those are the three categories.
I'm just sat in the middle.
And women have to choose to be one of them.
So is that what you think?
I think that when a woman becomes a mother, she has a purpose, And I think that women should be having children as soon as possible. And I think it gives their life a direction. And I think it's the most important.
With all due respect, no one really respects this guy because what he says might be true, but he doesn't decide on what age women should actually have children. And there's some truth in what he says. For example, these days, if you look, like, society says, okay, when you're young, go travel, go do whatever you want, sleep with as many people you want, take care of yourself, you should be responsible only for you. But that person is very selfish. I don't know if you watched the other reaction of Will Smith kind of marriage being wrong. I linked that also down in the description, you can check it out. But if someone is that selfish, they cannot provide for the family. Whether it's like the wife or the husband, they cannot be a family material. Look at this kind of picture that we have. This guy is not a family guy. That woman is not a family guy. This is really a new generation kind of phenomenon. It never happened before. Like hundreds of years ago, this thing didn't exist because there was no internet, there was no OnlyFans, there was no this guy selling courses online.
Thing to preserve society, especially if you want to talk about geopolitics and talk about race and all of these things. If you want to have a country that looks like the country it used to be, you need to have the original people from there having children. I think all of that is true, absolutely. I think every day a woman goes without having kids is primarily a waste of time. But once again, what does it matter what I think? Rob, I've given up. Rob, I've given up trying to save the world. I've given up. No, Rob. I've given up. I've given up on misogyny and all this stuff.
No, you haven't.
They attacked me with the Matrix. They keep throwing me in jail. I am now all for women empowerment. I think women should run around as many men as they want. I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good. I'm a feminist.
He's right. You see, these days, if you actually be in the dating industry, you understand that Instagram is running the world. So for her to actually see you as competent, you have to buy her a nice gift prior to you actually leading to intimacy. I gotta be uncensored and tell you in very interesting thing. Before you fuck, she would ask you to pay for something big. So she feels like she's giving you something, a good kind of favor, but it's not like that. Sex is mutual, sex is a holy thing. But women weaponize sex and expect something in return. So what difference does that woman have to this prostitute on the show as Bonnie Blue? She's selling sex, they're also selling sex. Actually, she's selling it a better way and she's making millions out of it. So she's much better than those.
Or pro-feminism. This is the world now. How the world's going to end up, who cares about the future?
See, women go around, use sex to their advantage, but then are happy to cry about it straight away. So, we took advantage of me. And it's like, you're the one that wanted to do sex to have like the job promotion, or you're the one that wanted to have sex to get more attention or try and be more liked. But then they cry about it, and that's what I get frustrated about. Even with porn stars, like people in my industry, they'll do this for a few years, get the money, get the boob jobs, get the house. And then suddenly they go, oh my God, I was forced into the industry. Oh my God, someone took all my money.
Have you ever considered a job as a lawyer?
No.
I could do with you. You're 100% right. So
they are flirting, and that's like really interesting because they are not so different. They are quite similar, and their perspective is also similar. You see?
This is the false dichotomy of society, right? So this is the reason when I said I like what Bonnie does, because Bonnie completely 100% owns what she does, and she says it's my decision. And
I mean, he didn't say that. He said he cannot imagine that happen for his daughter, and then he's changing and paraphrasing his own phrase. So you see, that's the bullshit kind of thing.
I've seen people try and lecture you. I've seen people sit there and try and lecture you and say like, oh, but you're a creature of God and you shouldn't be doing this. No, you should do whatever you want. Exactly. It's up to you to do whatever you want. And you're not saying it's chaotic. And when women decide anything, life's done. In fact, these men, in their disgusting, these men in their disgusting misogyny, believed if you gave women the vote, we'd end up with open borders and drag queen story out. So they didn't give women the vote. Then they did give women the vote, and society took a particular direction. But when men were in charge of things, women didn't have to worry about what they can do with their life because their father took care of it and then their husband took care of it.
Yeah. What he says is true, but it's very traditional kind of thing, and it doesn't happen these days. Like maybe hundreds of years ago, it was a typical thing. But these days, women empowerment, radical feminism, mutual right, it's no longer mutual. I mean, look at the truth. It's no longer mutual. Women are even higher than men these days. And if a guy would even try to talk about it, they would be like, misogynistic, anti-feminist, you're not a human, you're abusive. No, come on. They just say, you know what, women do some certain things better, men do other things better. For instance, if you want to have a nurse that takes care of this stuff, perhaps a woman would be a good fit. She can teach the kids, she can make the house feel like a home, she can bring emotion to that. But if you want to take like something physical, like building the place, or like the work or the labor kind of thing, you need the man. So you cannot say, you know what, we don't need the man. And that's like a very wrong thing to say.
This is the final end result of feminism, and the end times are here, and that nobody's going to have kids anymore, and that the idea of a beautiful marriage between a man and a woman is now completely gone. I mean, if I was a disgusting misogynist, but since they keep...
But you don't have one beautiful marriage, do you?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Have you slept with 1,057?
You see, I don't know about the guy in the middle. I think he might have a wife, but these two talk about these things like it's a walk in the park. Like they're successful in that field, but their success doesn't come from marriage. They're not successful in that field. How come they can still talk about it? And this guy says, yeah, I don't have a successful marriage. That's a good kind of honesty.
Women?
At least.
So are you quite similar?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's the male's prerogative to impregnate as many females as possible. This is the masculine prerogative. This is biologically my prerogative is to do that.
I think we should do a breeding competition. We'll see if you can get a girl pregnant quicker than I can get pregnant.
Well, I mean, that'd be a good competition. I think
See, they're always flirting, and it's interesting. But a lot of the things that they say, like he says, okay, thousands of years ago, a guy who had access to a lot of women was probably a king, but a woman that slept with a lot of guys was a prostitute. Fast forward today, in 2026, in this era, it's the same story. So if a guy fucks a lot of women, he's got the key to the jungle. But if a woman is fucking a lot of guys, she's like a lock that is opened by a lot of keys. I told you indirectly so you can actually catch up, and I don't know if you get it.
And he wants to take care of those women and take care of those kids. He's not overly interested in the kids. That doesn't mean he doesn't love them. It means he doesn't want to sit there and play with them all day. When you see a man who wants to play with a baby all day, that man is probably gay. All of them, they were exclusively only with me, and we had children over and over and over again. That's my biological imperative.
I don't understand the argument. They talk about a utopia that existed that no longer is. And why is this shit important these days? She's fucking thousands of men in a single day. And somehow it's an achievement. It's like really, really fucked up that society is rewarding wrong actions. And if you try to say the honest things, it's not really seen. It's seen as boring or some shit like that.
It's actually against the female biological imperative to do what Bonnie is doing, I would argue. Traditionally. But that means you break paradigms. That's great. But feminism and society and this brand new...
He's right. You know, she's been sleeping with a lot of women, a lot of guys. I don't know if she's doing female kind of pornography as well or not. She could be a nice kind of wife, and she could be much happier. But she's just as an example. Like these days, you see the dating market and the way people are acting. It's like really messed up in the psychology and the brain, and they expect something like really that doesn't exist. And look at her. Let's see what she says. Some bullshit probably.
Extreme to the next. You get the women like me that are just nuts, and then you get the others that are lazy and won't even get on their knees and give a blowjob.
And they're sluts too. No, but that's the thing. They're too. They're sluts for a different guy, or they're for their ex, and they're not for the new guy. That's these women are sluts too. It's all the same.
So I used to be a full service sex worker, like an escort, and I used to judge men that cheated. And then when I actually started speaking to these men, I was like, you know what, they've got a point. They're going to work, they're looking after their kids, they're still emptying the dishes because the wife's now refusing to do that, saying it should be equal. And then I say, well, when's the last time she gave you a blowjob? When's the last time she f***ed you? They couldn't name it. They couldn't even like list the amount of times where they've had sexual intercourse. I'm like, of course you're going to need that. Of course you're going to cheat. So how can I ever say women are anything but lazy and poorly educated?
So do you,
She says some things that are true, but coming from her as a prostitute doesn't make it like really well kind of document to rely on, you know.
do you think you're a good role model for women?
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years. Of
What?
taking control of your body,
Correct.
being independent. I earn my own money. I don't rely on a
No, that's not correct. What the fuck, man? You bald son of a fucking bitch. Why do you say it's correct? It's all bullshit. She's a prostitute and she's not a role model for the women. In the hierarchy of power, a woman who has slept with a lot of guys would be seen as a bitch. And that bitch would be put in a whorehouse and put a tag of prostitute. And no one high class would even go close to that bitch. So why do you say, all women hate this bitch for the fucking shit that she does. And she's an idiot. A fucking probably junkie, drug addict, because you cannot do all those kind of shit while you're sober. She probably drinks so much, does some drugs, God knows what the fuck, so that she can actually live that animalistic kind of fucking life. She's such a disgrace to the society. She's such a fucking bitch, and whatever she says is also bullshit.
guy. I'm
Girl
paid
power.
more. Exactly. I'm paid more than other guys.
Do you think
100% your ass, you bitch, motherfucker.
Clear example of what women have been fighting for years. Absolutely.
Women have not been fighting to actually have an OnlyFans that subscribe kind of fucking people to jerk off to it, and they will be sit there with some bullshit money and they will be like, okay, I live in a fancy ceiling kind of glacial mansion. That's not the fucking thing. You got to get out of the comfort. You're gonna just see the truth. I don't know why he says yes to everything that she says. Maybe they have sex before or afterwards, who knows, but they have a chemistry, obviously.
Be correct.
And now
I'm not going to sit here and lecture you about God. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, that's all. She is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years.
Yeah.
Women believe that they can do whatever they want.
do you think they should be able to?
Listen, brother, I have 14 criminal cases. I don't want to be called a misogynist by the BBC. That would break my heart. That's not up to me. We're all individual sovereign people, and we make our own decisions. If women want to run around and do whatever they want to do, it's up to them. My point is, all women, on some scale, are doing what Bonnie Blue is doing. However, Bonnie Blue's just the best at it. She's the best. She's the queen of it. So it's
Not all women are
Let
doing
me ask you a question. If a man walks into Starbucks and steals a chocolate bar, he's a thief. Right?
Not in London.
Well,
It's legal.
Look, back to what they said. This guy is actually interesting. Gonna delve into who the fuck this guy is, because he's running this shit show and he's probably making a lot of good stuff out of it. But this guy has some concepts and what he says, but the fact that they agree on everything shows that they both are failures to the society. And it's like yet so fucked up that they are rich, and the fact that just they have the money, they have the power, and they can sit and say whatever the fuck they want. But it's all bullshit. Look at them. They're so lost. Their souls are lost. They're so far from God. They have lost it. And this guy has been thinking, oh, okay, if I have sex with a lot of women, I'm the best guy. Yeah, let's just run a sex camera online bullshit. And this woman is like, hey, let's weaponize my sex and have money on that shit. So both of them are like prostitutes. Even this guy is a prostitute because he's also doing the same shit. And you cannot say, yeah, just because I'm a guy, it's like that. It's just fucking justification of bullshit. The way she looks at him is like, I think she looks at everyone like that. She's a nymphomaniac, and she's a sex addict, and she would fuck anything that moves because that gives her the pleasure. And when they do this thing, it's like an addiction, like a drug. The more you do it, the more you want to do it, and then you have to do it more to feel the same kind of pleasure. So it leads to excessive kind of behavior, and it leads to a lot of the things that she does. Actually, she's a clear example of what happens.
Video. No disrespect. You may as well be fucking good at it.
This is interesting actually, because what they say is partially true, and it's like really blowing the mind is the facts that they say. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Feel free to like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you think, because I believe a part of what they said might be true, but again, you are here to decide. And until the next one, have a good one.